Hello, this is Josephine Halpin-Montvidas. I'm one of the career counselors here at the Middle Country Public Library and part of the Miller Business Center. Today's presentation is going to be speaking about resources and job search techniques for youth and adults with disabilities. So, with teens today, there's a wonderful website called explorework.com. All teens have choices and things to do to prepare for life after high school and for their journey to adulthood. This is called a time of transition. You are preparing to become an adult by getting a job or continuing with more education and taking more independent steps. This website that will follow, I will be showing you 5 different training modules to assist you. You can work independently if you wish, or with a friend, a family member, or a counselor. The following slide lists modules. The first one is career planning and job exploration. The second is your first work experiences. The next is school beyond high school. The fourth is workplace readiness. And the fifth one is self-advocacy. So you probably have always heard the question, so what do you want to be when you grow up? Has anyone ever asked you that question? I'm sure they have. Have you ever thought about what you want to be when you grow up? And many people think we should know what that answer is. I mean, everyone knows typical jobs that are out there. We know about teachers' jobs, doctors, firefighters, police officers. But what about all the other jobs out there that you might like? In today's world, there are so many options and you have choices. So where do you start? How do you know what might work for you and what might you be good at? Finding out the answers to this question is called career exploration. It's about understanding your strengths, your interests, maybe some of your values, and your abilities. Career exploration is also about discovering what job or work you may be good at. Doing this can help you figure out what education you may need, what skills you might need to acquire and learn, and give you the confidence to reach your goal. There's a wonderful website that's part of the U.S. Department of Labor. It's called careeronestop.org. It's a source for career exploration, training, and jobs. And on there, you can take an online interest assessment that has about 30 quick questions and takes about 5 minutes. You will learn about different careers that might be best suited for you through this website. They will ask you questions, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, and careers that fit your interests. It will also give you information after you hit submit about the different career areas, information about the job descriptions, the job outlook, the salary, a national salary that's paid for that position, the training and qualifications. However, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, many classrooms have been impacted and education has moved on to many online formats. Employers are required, if you find a job, to adhere to social distancing guidelines. The following slides are some examples of different types of work experiences that you may wish to consider. Employment may be on site, as I said, with safety guidelines, or another option, you may be able to work remotely. The first part of the work experience is that you may want to try to secure a job while you're in high school part-time or during the summer, and that's approaching in the next couple of weeks. Retail has always embraced individuals of all different backgrounds, from youth to adults, individuals with disabilities, veterans, all are always usually welcome. You may want to consider finding part-time jobs. I did some research and I found the town of Brookhaven has an online application for seasonal and part-time jobs in their parks and town departments. Their website is www.brookhavenny.gov, or if you live in the town of Smithtown, Their website is smithtownmy.gov. You may also want to look at different job boards, for example, Indeed.com or Job Express, which is part of the New York State Department of Labor, and their website is www.labor.my.gov. You can filter what type of job you'd like depending upon a job title, whether you're looking for seasonal or summer, part-time work, full-time work, location, or employer. And with the Job Express website, which is nice about it, if you put in a job title and a zip code and the distance you want to travel, those employers that are in that area will be identified. And then you would hit that job title to ascertain more information about that particular job. Job shadowing. That's always been a popular one for individuals. However, with today's pandemic, that might not be possible, but maybe in the near future, individuals can follow someone at work. However, if that's not possible, there's a great website called jobshadow.com, and you could read real interviews from people as they talk about the jobs they do. You can also view career videos at thecareeronestop.org, and videos are organized into 16 career clusters or groups. Internships. Internships, you can be paid or they could be unpaid. If they are paid, that's wonderful, but if not, sometimes colleges provide internships and that you would receive college credit. Recently, we were notified by the Suffolk County Water Authority that they're looking for college interns. And they gave us information that they're looking to hire interns to fill paid positions from mid-May of 2021 through mid-August 2021. All applicants that are eligible must be enrolled in a college program and be a resident of Suffolk County. And the positions are available in the following departments. It could be purchasing, engineering, safety, human resources, customer service, information technology, construction management, production control. You would go onto their website. It's www.scwa.com/careers. To apply, if you're looking for full-time work, you would use the same website. Volunteering. That's another wonderful way for adults and youth to make a difference and to serve your community. You can learn about working in a field that you're interested in to see whether it's for you. It's a good way, as I always say, to test the waters, whether you find it interesting, but also if you don't, that's okay too. Our library website has a posting for virtual volunteer opportunities for teens. The website is listed here on this slide. It's mclibrary.org/teens, just for fun community service, but that's specifically for teens. However, for adults and again for youth, if you're looking for some on-site volunteer opportunities, you may want to look at longislandvolunteercenter.org. Recently, I was reviewing it, and there are some opportunities in the Port Jefferson area and in the Lake Grove area. They also will list different categories that you may be interested in. Perhaps you're interested in working with animals or saving or helping the environment, or you have an interest in the medical or health profession. So that would be another wonderful website for, again, youth and adults to maybe gain some exposure. Apprenticeships. New York State can offer individuals, but you must be 17 and older to apply. The website is www.dol.my.gov. You would take a look at the apprenticeship tab, and there are announcements throughout New York State that are looking for apprentices. Some of them do require certain physical capabilities as well as academic backgrounds, high school diploma, or some courses that you've taken that may be applicable. I recently took a look at it, and there's opportunities for painters, for laborers, for carpenters. They are throughout New York State, so take a look at it. They do have an opening and closing date, and they want you to physically fill out a paper application. And again, they do have some strict guidelines when those opportunities will be available, that you can go to their site and take an application, and when the closing date is. But that may be another option. Informational interviews. That's another great way to learn about real life experience of someone working in a field or a company that interests you. However, I want to emphasize it's not a job interview. So it's important to keep focused on getting information, not a job offer. And I highly recommend this for youth and adults, individuals that maybe are making career changes or returning to the labor market, or youth that are exploring, as well as adults, to try this strategy. However, I have a few pointers that I would like to include as well. Today, for the most part, it may be a Zoom meeting, it may be an email exchange, or maybe a phone conversation. You want to make your meeting, whether it's in person or Zoom or email, as productive as possible, and have several questions prepared. I would suggest you would ask that individual if they have maybe 15 minutes of their time that they could assist you and you have certain questions, and also listen to their information. You may want to ask them if they could describe a typical day or week in that occupation or at that employer. Where did they go to school? What training did they receive? Was it a college degree, or did they go through a vocational training program? What do they find satisfying about that occupation? What do they find challenging about that occupation? Also, you may want to ask about, are there any other relevant or additional job titles that you could research in the future as well that could be similar? I do not suggest that you ask them what salary they earn or what's their benefits package. I think that's very confidential information. But to help you find out about the information with respect to salaries or benefits, there's a wonderful online publication through the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's called the Occupational Outlook Handbook. The website is www.bls.gov. And on the tab, there is online publication, and you can open that and click the Occupational Outlook Handbook, or you could put it in the keyword search. There it will list about 250 occupations in the United States, job descriptions, salaries, employment outlook, training, and qualifications. So if you are interested in having more information about salaries, I would suggest you take a look at the online publication of the Occupational Outlook Handbook. So beyond high school, once you start nearing your senior year, you will need to probably have some training. Luckily, there's lots of different ways to continue learning. Post-secondary education counseling means exploring what educational or training opportunities are available to help you achieve your work goals. There's 4-year colleges and universities. There's 2-year colleges. There's online classes. There's the American Corps. There's military service. There's learn on the job, and there's trade and technical schools. I'm going to talk about each of these different areas of training to give you more information. 4-year colleges and universities. Individuals earn a bachelor's degree by completing a college program at a college or university. Colleges may be small or part of a large university. Each school has different admission requirements on getting accepted. You can also earn later on an advanced degree as required for some career fields. Typically, four-year colleges, you earn about 128 credits, and to pursue that and earn that, that usually takes 4 years of studying on a full-time basis. However, if you're not interested in going to college for 4 years, another wonderful option is our two-year colleges. And we have so many different colleges here on Long Island, whether they're four-year colleges or two-year colleges. We have Nassau Community, and we have Suffolk Community right in our own backyard. The public community colleges are basically open to everyone. You can earn an Associate of Arts degree, which is an AA, or an Applied Science degree, which is an AAS degree. And typically, those college credits could be anywhere, I would say about up to maybe 64 to 68 college credits. I was recently looking at Suffolk Community College, and individuals can pursue a nursing degree at an associate's level and then continue on for a BSN in nursing, or you can find or ascertain an associate's degree in creative writing, in theater, in culinary arts, and information technology. So there's so many options with that. And in addition, as I said, those credits that you earn as the associate's degree level, you can typically apply or transfer them to a four-year college or university. There's many agreements between them. Also, there are certificate programs at the two-year colleges at Nassau and Suffolk. For example, if you're interested in not attending college for 2 years, the certificate program may be a nice option. There you would acquire about anywhere from perhaps 32 to maybe 36 college credits. And the certificate program, some of them could be in drafting, again, information technology, hotel management, and culinary arts, just to give you a few examples. Online classes, that became very popular, of course, during our pandemic. However, some individuals, because of their different commitments and family responsibilities, they may only want to go through the online classes. And many of those are set up with online tools like using Zoom. With the online classes, you can earn different degrees and different certificates. Another option for gaining exposure to the world of work is joining AmeriCorps.gov. Here, youth and adults of all backgrounds can serve organizations across the United States. However, you would be volunteering your time and talent to help communities. It could be in your own neighborhood or own geographic area, or it could be outside your area. You would gain valuable work experience, networking, and develop some wonderful skills that can help you move on with jobs and careers. So again, the website is www.americorps.gov. Then there's the military service. Some individuals may want to serve our country, and the pluses for that, you can join the U.S. Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, or the Coast Guard. There's opportunities to travel, either locally, domestically, or internationally, or globally. Many times the military can help you finance your college or training. There's good programs for that. And some of that training that you receive in the military can be used for college credit. You would acquire experience and skills, and many times those skills can be transferred once you leave the military to civilian life. So it has their plus. Another option could be attending a trade or technical school. Here on Long Island, again, we have so many resources for trade or technical schools. We have the BOCES programs, which stands for the Board of Cooperative Educational Services. They're available in Nassau and Suffolk counties, upstate New York as well. And they do encourage individuals of all backgrounds to consider their programs. That can be youth, adults, individuals with disabilities, and individuals that don't have disabilities. Examples for their training could be in programs such as computer programming, graphic design, accounting, veterinarian assistant, truck drivers. Some of those credits may be transferred to a college or university. It all depends upon which program it is. It usually takes less time to complete than a college. Some of the programs could be for several weeks or months, or it could be up to a year. In addition, there's also some private training and technical schools. For example, there's Hunter, there's Apex, and there's Access. Hunter offers programs such as in business and medical. Apex offers programs such as in welding, electrical, auto body, and auto repair. Some of the programs, whether they're BOCES or the private trade or technical schools, will require some pre-vocational testing. Not for all programs, but for some of the programs. So learning outside of the classroom. As I mentioned before, apprenticeships throughout New York State can be available. And you would be learning on the job during the day and attending classes during the evening. Typically, the training is when you're out with the journey person, it could be 4 days a week. And then in the evening, you are in the classroom. It could be 4 evenings or 3 evenings a week to make sure you're getting the theory part as well as the hands-on training. So the next part I would like to speak about is talking about your disability is called disclosure. So that's letting an employer know that you have a disability. However, when it comes to talking about your disability, you both have rights and protections and responsibilities. Your responsibilities and protections are different in school and high school, and then once after you leave or get a job. At school, you usually you work with the individualized education program, what's required, and you would meet with your committee on special education, teachers, and your school counselor. And they would make sure whatever disability that you have, that the school is providing the accommodations so that you could be successful. However, after high school, that is no longer available to you, but what is available instead is the American with Disabilities Act and Rehabilitation Act. It's the ADA, which protects you from disability-related discrimination so that you would have meaningful access. So, if you do let your employer know that you have a disability, job seekers with disabilities must be provided with reasonable accommodations, okay? But you must disclose that information to your employer. Many times, they want to see the medical documentation that what you're telling them is factual, and that way the employer can make some reasonable accommodations so that you could be successful at work. So what is a reasonable accommodation? It's some assistance or changes to a job or workplace that helps you with your job despite having a disability. Under the ADA, employers are required to provide reasonable accommodations to qualified employees with disabilities, unless doing so would pose an unnecessary hardship. So it has to be a reasonable accommodation that employer can provide. Under the ADA, an interviewer cannot ask about the disability or the nature of a disability. However, an employer may ask questions about your ability to perform specific job functions, and they might ask you, let's say if you are under consideration for a job in retail, that you are capable for lifting and bending, or maybe you need some special accommodation. But the employer can ask you about your ability to perform a certain job function. Workplace readiness. That's so important for youth when they go to work. And there's a wonderful website with the U.S. Department of Labor, www.dol.gov, and they have videos called Skills to Pay the Bills. And in each video, you would see the actor portraying the positive and negative situation. So they have 5 different skill areas for you to consider, and I always suggest to take a look at it. They're short, maybe about no more than 5 minutes, and the first one that they look at is enthusiasm and attitude. So employers, whether youth or adult, they want employees that are cooperative and upbeat, okay? Another one could be communication. That's always on top of the list. It's how we speak and how we obtain information. But it's also our tone of voice, our facial expression, and our posture. That's also part of our communication package. In addition, problem solving, the ability to think on your feet and find solutions. And I'm not saying that you always have to have every answer for every challenge or problem at work, but if you can provide some inputs to a supervisor about some thoughts on a solution or maybe an idea. So employers like individuals that can make that contribution. In addition, teamwork is always so important. We want to always be able to work with individuals and approach work with a cooperative and reasonable attitude. We don't have to find best friends at work. That's not the goal of going to work, but that we're reasonable, that we're kind, and that we're cooperative. And I think no matter what job you have today and in the near future, you always want to bring that characteristic with you. Finally, there's networking. Connecting to who you know is critical for job searching. And I always say we want to always reach out to individuals that we feel comfortable with and that we trust to let everyone know that you're looking for work. I know there's a lot of job boards out there that can help us, but the number one way still is networking and letting people know that you're looking for work. And I always suggest if you are networking and then once you secure or find a job, maybe in the future you could help someone else and give them some suggestions or let them know about a job opening or a place that may be hiring in the future. Self-advocacy. That's a really important piece for individuals with disabilities to be able to speak up for yourself, how to share your needs, how to achieve your goals. All right, because no one's a mind reader. Your employer is not going to be a mind reader. If you go off to college or training, your teacher cannot be a mind reader. So, but it will also help you to make decisions about your own life. Learning about how to find information so you can achieve your goals, know what your rights are and your responsibilities. Also understanding how to navigate your world so that you could be resourceful for yourself in solving some problems, listening and learning, and reaching out to others when you need support or guidance. So what I've done from explorework.com, they had this quick exercise about some self-reflection and self-assessment about self-advocacy. So the first slide is asking, are you an expert on your disability? Do you know the name of it? Do you know how to describe it? So your response could be not yet, working on it, or absolutely. The next part is, can you describe your strengths, needs, and wishes? Again, maybe not yet, working on it, or absolutely. Also, if you're still in high school, can you take part in your IEP meetings and help develop some of your goals? Maybe not yet, you're working on it, or you absolutely have attended the meetings and you've been able to articulate what some of your goals are. Do you know how to ask for accommodations when you need them? Not yet, working on it, or absolutely. And also at the end, are you comfortable talking about yourself? And what do you want to share and what don't you want to share? Again, are you comfortable with it? Maybe not yet. You're working on it, or absolutely. And again, these slides were just to present some information and a little self-assessment for self-advocacy. There's another wonderful website called thinkcollege.net, and it's just dedicated for individuals that have intellectual disabilities. It's a nationwide college search directory of about 298 college programs in the United States. And you can search it by program name, location, major that you may want to study, and all different other keywords. I do want to say that all the colleges that are mentioned through thinkcollege.net, they all are connected on campus with the Disability Support Services Office, in which there are counselors that are there to help the individuals to achieve their academic and personal success. I will also want to say that our local colleges, I know Suffolk Community, Nassau Community, Hofstra University, St. Joe's, again, our local colleges and universities also provide offices for students with disabilities, and there are counselors to continue helping you with your academic and personal success while you are a student. Employability skills for youth and adults. This is so important. When we first secure a job, for the most part, employers would put us on probation for 90 days. But it doesn't mean the employer has to keep us. So these are some good characteristics that I always recommend that you carry with you, whether it's your first job or you go to work for many years, is to continue to have good motivation, communication, be reliable and dependable. Do you get to work on time? If there's a lunch break, are you taking your lunch within that time frame? Are you able to follow instructions? Are you a team player? Do you have that cooperative attitude? Are you reasonable? Are you approachable? And of course, today with the pandemic, so many of us had to learn or continue to be patient, flexible, and adaptable. I just want to get back to the careeronestop.org for youth and adults. That website has lots of valuable information about gaining skills for individuals 18 years and older to develop and gain skills. There's different agencies that are out there locally that could help you. For example, there is the viscardycenter.org, and they're located in Mineola, which is part of Nassau County, and they do help youth and adults with disabilities for workforce training and employment services. There's also Access VR through New York State. Maybe some of you are familiar with it and maybe have already met with the transition counselor through Access New York. Again, they assist youth and adults of all ages, and they want you to go further, whether it's securing employment, job training, going to college, and becoming independent. So you may want to take a look at Access New York. Their website is acces.nyscd.gov. They have offices located in Garden City, in Hauppauge, and there's also one in Riverhead. I believe it's the Satellite Center. And again, it welcomes youth and adults with disabilities of all ages. The next part is doing your job search. So there's many different resources for that. For example, there's usajobs.gov. You could put in the job title and the location by zip code or town and state and what you're looking for, and also filter it by how many miles you want to drive. So you may want to look into that. You could also receive job alerts from them if you register. There's also disabledperson.com, and that lists companies that are committed to hiring the disabled. So how great is that? There's also Recruit Disability, where it's a free job board. So are the others, connecting job seekers about employment programs and employers. Because when you have your interview, you want to be confident about what skills and what values and what strengths you can offer in spite of your disability. Remember, under the American Disabilities Act, an interviewer cannot ask about a disability or the nature of a disability. As I said before, if you want to talk about your disability, that requires thought and planning, and you may want to speak to family members or your counselor. You are not required to tell an employer about your disability. Also, if you go off to college, you are not required. But no one can help set up any type of accommodations unless you're forthcoming and you provide that information and want to disclose about your disability. Some disabilities are more visible than others, but consider taking charge if you have an interview, if you want to talk about your disability and how it would handle any impact on the job. You may want to describe any accommodations that you would need. All right, and so again, I just want to bring about what are some reasonable accommodations with the world of work. Examples include an employer may be able to restructure the job to some degree and how the tasks are performed, but still get the right outcome. Perhaps modify a work schedule. Perhaps the individual needs to take a medication at 10:15 in the morning, so perhaps the supervisor could say, all right, you could have your 15-minute break starting at 10:15. Or if you need to see a certain doctor and that doctor is only available on Thursdays at a certain time, perhaps you can go to work after meeting with that doctor, or you can go to work whatever other day of the week. In addition, perhaps you may need some certain modification with equipment or devices, whatever that may be, to do some work on a computer. There's also assistive technology or devices, maybe computer screen readers for individuals with low visual, or some type of compatible telephone with individuals with a hearing aid. Individuals that may need help with assistance with vision, there could be different materials or large print or whatever, that different formats of materials to help them. I want to thank you so much for being part of this presentation. And as I said, I am one of the career counselors here at the Middle Country Public Library, and we are happy to help you with resumes and cover letters, helping you evaluate your career and employment goals, job interview skills, post-return to work after COVID, college applications, financial aid review. And you would meet with us virtually at, there's the website tinyurl.com/MCPL-CC. Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure.